What's going on, guys? Little Fire here, and welcome to an episode of Black Ops 3. And this video is going to be about Black Ops 3 and what I liked and what I didn't like about the beta and what the community has thought about it. And this is from the point of view for PlayStation 4. I didn't get to play it on any other console, or I didn't get to play it on PC just because I only have PS4. But I'll tell you what I learned about the game while I played it, some new things that us as a community found, and what I liked about it. As you can see here in the background, I got the GI unit score streak, which is really fun to get. Some people were confused on how to work it, but you can set waypoints for it, and it'll like just patrol the area. So I end up putting it on B, and it ends up wrecking people. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about is weapon balance, and I was really pleased in how Treyarch decided to put the weapon balance through. There were a few guns that weren't as good as others. For, say, this weapon, the M8A1, I believe it's called, or no, M8A7. And this gun was amazing. It was like a sniper rifle, an SMG, an assault rifle, a shotgun. It was pretty much the whole deal. It was a god tier weapon, and if you weren't using it, you'd probably get wrecked really badly. But most of the other guns were fine as they were. One of the sniper rifles, the Dracon, I feel needed better aim down sights times, just because with a semi-automatic sniper like that, it had not the highest fire rate. I felt like it needed a higher ADS time. Also, the pistols were very good. It's been quite a long time. It's been about the time since Black Ops 2 was out where pistols have been good in a Call of Duty game. Ghosts, they were barely usable. Advanced Warfare, they're barely usable again because just the movement scheme and that. But this one seems to complement the gameplay nice. There are 3 or 4 different pistols in the beta, I can't remember. There's a 3-round burst, 2 semi-automatics, and 1 full automatic, if I believe correctly. But the second thing I wanted to talk about was the weapon attachments, which I feel like they were perfect. They didn't have too many where they were just flat out buffs and you couldn't do anything about them, and I felt like they all had a little equality to them. Like no attachment was overpowered, like you didn't need it. The foregrip is usually always needed in a Call of Duty just because people sometimes can't track their targets without the foregrip. But in this game, the movement's not as fast paced as it was in Advanced Warfare. So the foregrip isn't as needed as it used to be in Advanced Warfare, but it was still necessary for some guns like the Razorback and most of the SMGs. Third thing I wanted to cover were the specialist weapons and abilities. I know not a lot of people were happy with it. Some of the balancing was a little bit off, but I don't blame Treyarch. It was field testing for them. It was a beta. It was meant to have errors so they could fix them. What I thought about the specialists, I thought that they were okay as they were. I mean, some weren't as powerful as others, like the Nomad when he had his hive gun. That wasn't always as effective as, say, the Tempest or the compound bow, but it still would make good use on objectives and people couldn't see them very well. Some of the specialist abilities I feel need a slight buff, like the one specialist, they get the kinetic armor, and I just saw that it didn't last as long as it should have. Like, if it barely lasts for about 4 or 5 seconds and then it's done. I feel like it should at least last about 8 seconds, just so that it's not a waste, because I feel that I'd rather not use that perk at all than use it, because it's going to take time for you to move your fingers to activate it, first of all. And second of all, it's just going to make you all weird. What I mean by weird is that you're not going to get used to getting an advantage over your enemies while you use your specialist ability. Third thing I wanted to comment on were the maps, and I really want to express how I felt about the maps. I felt that they were actually amazing. Now, they really catered to the style of gameplay that Black Ops 3 wants to have. A momentum-based game where you can chain together reactions with physics, and then also get a good sense of where you are on the battlefield. And I felt like there were great wall run spots, and there were a little bit of wall run spots that a lot of people actually didn't know about. And I might do a video on those, just showing them a few of them that I found out. There's one on this map, and you can run straight through the waterfall that's at the back of the map. I also really liked I can't even remember what it's called, I'm so sorry. It's the one where you're like in a ruined village, and there are walls you can climb on the outside, and then inside it's just a building. But I really like that one because it blends close quarter to long range, and it also caters to any type of gameplay you want to have. Fourth thing is the score streaks. Now, I know people had a few issues with them like I did, that the Hellstorm missile is way too strong. It tracked people way too fast, and I feel like that needs a big nerf. For that type of score, it just needs to be dimmed down a little bit. As you see at the start of this gameplay, I got the GI unit, and I think that that's a fair score to have for it. The Raps, they're kind of like the new dogs from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Those are pretty good. The only thing I don't like about them is they move pretty slow. Like, one thing I'd want to fix about them personally is give them a little quicker reaction time just to get around the map, because if you're on the enemy team and you saw a bunch of Raps fall from the sky out of the carrier that they came in, you could easily just shoot them all, because they have so little health and they move so slow. You can just run away from them, turn around, and shoot them. The last thing I wanted to comment on was the connectivity issues. I know a few people faced these issues, a few people didn't. It sometimes depends on your region or how much ping you have, but I thought that the hit detection was a little bit wonky at times. Not even when they were moving, just when they were standing still, it wouldn't detect as well. I also had a few times where I couldn't connect to servers, or I couldn't even join a friend's party, and I know people, I addressed Treyarch about this on Twitter, and like right after that they fixed it, and I'm glad that happened, because they were great at fixing things. And sorry if you can hear my voice in the background, this is a pre-recorded thing, and I was talking to my friend. But there were a few times where I would get kicked out of a lobby and then not be able to sign in, but then see that other people were still online, which I don't really care about. It's a beta. I know there are going to be issues. I knew that going into the beta. If you didn't know that going into the beta, then you shouldn't have complained about it, because it's a beta. It's field testing. But that's really all I have to say about it. The Black Ops 3 beta was so fun. I can't wait for the full game. I didn't even get to play zombies yet, but I'm so excited for zombies. And also the campaign, because the campaign's going to be multiplayer, not multiplayer, just co-op with 4 people. But other than that, that been my little talk spiel about Black Ops 3. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, a like would be much appreciated. This has been Little Fire Gaming, and as always, have an amazing day.